President Obama, the anointed one.
Let me just jump into 1 second. So I want to remind everybody that this debate is being broadcast. So you will have an opportunity. We're going to try to take questions from the audience, but we need you to simply pay attention so that you don't interfere with that. Thank you.
All right, it's my turn. We're going 15 minutes each.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. First of all, Reverend Al, over the years, you and I have had passionate debates, and we often disagree. And the last time I was here at the National Action Network, and I'm very, very honored to be back again, because, you know, in spite of our disagreements, we have had a free and fair and open exchange of ideas. I'm glad when you come on my radio show. I'm honored when you come on the Fox News channel. The one thing that I said the last time when we started our debate is, regardless, when we leave here tonight, you know, the thing that we do share in common, you're a reverend, I share your belief. We believe in God has blessed this country. Every single person is endowed by our Creator with talent and ability from Him. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior. And you know what? So at the end of the day, you know, I don't know if we'll be debating these issues in heaven one day, but I'm just assuming there's a lot of commonality here. And so I just wanted to say it's an honor to be back. I really appreciate your invitation. Thank you.
Let me say in response to that, then you go. I think one of the reasons I invite you is because I think that we've got to take the poison out of political discussion. I think people need to see that people that disagree can do it without being disagreeable. And you invite me to Fox, which clearly is not my home base. I invite you to National Action Network.
This is my home base.
And your listeners, because I think that we cannot preach to the kids to be mature if we don't show it ourselves. So I'm glad that you accepted it.
Let me start with what I was saying a little bit earlier here. These are really significant and serious times that we're living in here. We've got 45 million Americans on food stamps. We've got, since Barack Obama's been president, $5 trillion in new debt that we're going to pass on to our kids and grandkids. We got $14 trillion, and we're going to have to raise that debt ceiling in a very short period of time. And I think we're robbing, literally we're taking a sledgehammer, and we're robbing our children and our grandchildren of their chance at the American dream. All of us, there's not a single person here that doesn't want their kids to grow up, tap that God-given potential, to be the best they can be, to buy a nice house, to have a good car, to live in a nice neighborhood. And I'm telling you right now, we need a rallying vision that is quite different from the road this country is presently on, which deeply in my solar plexus, in my core, in my heart, my mind, my soul, I think we're headed in the wrong direction. The simple truth is, and I know a lot of you will disagree, but as I look at the governing since Barack Obama has been president, the premise of my argument here is I think he has failed in his job to create jobs, to create opportunity. He's been irresponsible and reckless with the money that he gets from all of us, from taxpayers in this country. And I really, truly believe that we've got to get on a better course. And that's why, and Al will make the case for the anointed one, the president. That's an endearing term. But I never thought, and here's my take on Obama, I never thought we'd have a president that worshipped at the altar of a radical by the name of Saul Alinsky. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think we'd ever have a president of the United States that started his campaign in the home of an unrepentant terrorist, Bill Ayers, a guy that bombed the Capitol, New York City Police Headquarters, right here in this city, and also bombed the Pentagon of the United States. He says he's not sorry about it. He sat on boards with him, he gave speeches with him, he started his campaign, his original campaign in his house. I never thought we'd have a president sit in the pews of a guy by the name of Jeremiah Wright.
Yeah.
Who said,
yeah.
Who said, I want God to bless America. I want God to bless everyone in this room. I don't want anybody to say, God damn America. I don't think the Sunday after 9/11, and here we are in New York City, I don't want to live, I wouldn't sit in the pews of a pastor that said, after 9/11, that Sunday, when 3,000 of our fellow human beings were slaughtered, America's chickens come home
Who caused it?
to roost.
Who caused it? Who caused it?
He said of Reverend Wright, I am fortified by him. He is like family to me.
I don't believe it.
He said, I can no longer disown Reverend Wright than I can the black community. I never thought we'd have a president whose wife said in 2008 that America is a downright mean country.
It is. It is.
For the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country. This is America that has saved, sacrificed, blood, sweat, tears, the financial burden of beating fascism, totalitarianism, Nazism, and now it battles against Islamic radicalism and Islamic fascism.
Hold on.
I never thought we'd have a president that refuses to acknowledge after 9/11 a war on terror and calls it a man-caused disaster or an overseas contingency operation or the war that we currently have in Libya as a kinetic military action. I never thought we'd have a president that would tell our sworn enemies about interrogation techniques or give a civilian trial to the mastermind of 9/11 or humiliate our biggest ally in the Middle East, Israel. Or that a president that would embark on an apology tour where he called America arrogant, that said we were an arrogant nation when he was in France. I never thought these things would happen. I never thought we'd have a president in Prague saying that, you know, he envisions a world without nuclear weapons and unilaterally cuts our nukes in half. Or a president in Turkey saying we're not a Christian nation when it was Judeo-Christian policies and belief systems, although imperfect, that were the foundation of this country. I never thought we'd have a president that thought we could negotiate with a country like Iran, a country that literally calls for the destruction of innocent nations. I never thought we'd have a president that would sit through a 50-minute diatribe with a guy by the name of Daniel Ortega, or a president that would address the Muslim world and not talk about America's sacrifice for the Muslim world in Kuwait, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Kosovo, in Indonesia, and all over the Muslim world. I think he has misrepresented America and what we believe. I never thought we'd elect a president who thought we had 57 states and not 50.
Misinformed by
Or a president that believed in a non-existent Austrian language, or a president that refers to Navy corpsmen as corpsmen 3 times in one speech.
How many questions?
Or a president that would bow before kings and emperors. An American president that would accumulate more debt than every single solitary president in this country.
Bush!
Barack Obama.
Bush!
Well, let me address the Bush thing. I'm sure Reverend Al will use that excuse. Listen, Barack Obama's been president for 2.5 years. It's time for him to man up, put his pants on, sit at the table, and take responsibility for the decisions he's made. George Bush didn't create these record deficits.
Yes, he did.
Bush didn't create these record deficits.
He made it to the table.
Barack Obama's policies created it.
Oh,
The
please.
single most disastrous economic policies we've seen in American history. I never thought that we'd have a president appoint an IRS tax chief to be the head of the IRS. I never thought America would take over car companies, insurance companies, and banks. I never thought that America would adopt European socialism or dictate CEO pay. I never thought we'd have a president that could give us more in one term, more debt than all the debt accumulated from Washington up to and including Reagan. Facts, just the facts, please. You know, I never thought that we'd have a situation where to get national health care passed, we'd have a president have to kick back money via Cornhusker kickback, Louisiana Purchase, and then change the rules to get, in the final hours, to get health care passed, which the American people in poll after poll say they didn't want. I think we've been subjected to a lot of promises. I think this president basically has taken a sledgehammer to the United States Constitution. I think he's shredding the rule of law. I think he's stealing from our children and grandchildren. Look at the economic news. We've got foreclosures up. We've got no treasure in the Treasury. We've got the economy shrinking. We've got Social Security headed for bankruptcy, Medicare headed for bankruptcy, Medicaid headed for bankruptcy, and... Hello? Can you hear in the back?
No, you ain't saying that.
I never thought we'd have a president of the United States that hired a regulatory czar that said